Dubai is often described as a 21st century fairy tale, where a city rose from the barren desert to become a symbol of luxury, with streets filled with supercars and towers that touch the clouds. But the reality that few people talk about is that the prosperity of this golden city doesn't come from oil, but from massive debt and financial speculation. Even in its peak years, oil contributed less than 5% to GDP, which was lower than revenue from tourism and service fees. The rest of the economy relies on real estate, tourism, finance, and foreign investment inflows. Billion-dollar projects like the artificial island Palm Jumeirah, downtown Dubai, and Jebel Ali Port were all built using international loans and government-guaranteed bonds. In 2023 alone, Dubai's public debt exceeded $60 billion, which is equivalent to the entire economy of the U.S. state of Kansas. Back in 2009, Dubai nearly declared bankruptcy with $20 billion in debt until oil-rich Abu Dhabi intervened with a massive bailout to maintain the image of the city that cannot fall. Behind the beauty of the Burj Khalifa or the palm-shaped artificial islands are tens of thousands of South Asian workers toiling in harsh conditions for meager wages. Many people have to live in temporary housing on the outskirts, far from the affluent neighborhoods they built. Dubai is hailed as a city that rose from the sand, but upon closer inspection, it is also an empire built on debt, financial risk, and cheap labor. A desert dream illuminated by borrowed lights. Number 2. The golden dream of the night butterfly. You might not expect that when night falls, a completely different Dubai emerges. Behind the opulent facade of skyscrapers lies a silent world of night butterflies, who speak of women who once believed they were stepping into a dream of a better life. They come from poor countries in Asia and Africa, carrying hopes of jobs in the hotel or tourism industry, but ultimately fall into a vicious cycle of deception and control. Some were charged upfront by brokerage companies, had their documents confiscated at the airport, and were forced to work to pay off their debts. On the surface, Dubai shines brightly like Las Vegas in the desert, but behind the lights are thousands of women who must live in silence, work in closed bars, or serve the elite in luxury apartments. Secret parties in Dera or Marina sometimes include wealthy foreigners, protected by private security, making the scene almost invisible to the public. Many people, exhausted, chased customers in the elevator just to find a chance to survive. What's baffling is that in a city known for strict Islamic law, all of this is happening right in the center without ever being mentioned. Dubai still maintains its perfect facade of paradise, but beneath it lie countless forgotten destinies, reflecting the dark side of prosperity that few dare to look at directly. Number 3. Cemetery for supercars. If there's one place on the planet where you can see hundreds of abandoned Ferraris, Lamborghinis, or Rolls-Royces in the middle of the desert, it's Dubai. Outside, the city still shines with images of supercars lined up in front of luxurious hotels, but inside, there exists a metal graveyard where the dream of speed turns into scrap metal. Some parking lots are even jokingly called million-dollar cemeteries by locals, as the total value of abandoned vehicles can exceed 100 million USD. Over 3,000 supercars are abandoned each year, ranging from McLarens and Bugattis to brand-new Porsches. The reason is surprising. In Dubai, bankruptcy is not just a financial failure, but a criminal offense. When entrepreneurs cannot repay their debts, they can be prosecuted, have their assets seized, and go to prison. Therefore, many people choose to flee in the night, leaving keys in the locks, passports in the trunks, and leaving the country on the last flight. Ironically, many of the cars are still new, their paint gleaming in the desert sun, lined up in long rows in police impound lots. They are not only evidence of excess, but also a reminder that even in the city dubbed the richest in the world, the line between glory and ruin is as fragile as the sand those cars are resting on. Those supercars became the perfect symbol for Dubai, a place where ambition and risk always run in parallel. Number 4. The upper class's passport. In many countries, people walk their dogs for relaxation. But in Dubai, the familiar image is of Lamborghinis carrying lion cubs in the passenger seat. For the super rich, raising lion, tiger, or leopard cubs is not just a hobby, it's a way to assert power and status. A lion cub costs around $50,000, and a photo with one can attract millions of views on social media, becoming a passport into the elite's exclusive club. On Instagram, images of lions sitting behind Rolls Royces or tiger cubs lying on gold-plated sofas are every place. But as these pets grow up, their wild instincts return. Many were abandoned in the desert or sent to secret farms on the outskirts, where they were kept in poor conditions. The Dubai government issued a ban on keeping wild animals in 2017, but the practice persists, primarily in the gated villas of the wealthy. According to international organizations, Dubai is currently on the list of the world's fastest-growing illegal wildlife trade hubs. The lines for transporting tiger and lion cubs from Africa and South Asia to the Middle East continue to operate quietly through private channels and online marketplaces. Comment number 8. If you believe lions should live in the African savanna and not in supercars, you're probably thinking like most of the world. Number 5. A country where you are constantly monitored. When visiting Dubai, you should be prepared for seemingly simple rules that could cost you dearly. In a city of gold-plated buildings and giant shopping malls, the rules are so strict that even a sip of water can get you fined. Many first-time visitors are often unaware that Dubai's surveillance camera system is present in most public areas, and even minor violations can be detected immediately. Eating or drinking on the subway, bus, or in the station is strictly prohibited. If you take a sip of water in the 43 degrees heat of the desert, you could be fined 100 dirhams, which is about $27. The government believes this helps maintain the cleanliness and standard image of a city of the future. In fact, there are even propaganda campaigns on subway screens to remind passengers not to eat candy, chew gum, or bring coffee onto the train. During Ramadan, the rules are even stricter. Eating or drinking in public during the day is considered a religious offense and can be severely punished, even with short-term imprisonment. Many hotels and resorts will provide separate, curtained-off areas for non-Muslim guests, allowing them to dine discreetly without violating the law. In Dubai, even drinking water can be a cultural lesson, demonstrating how order, religion, and national image are prioritized. Number 6. City of Sorrows. Hidden behind Dubai's gold-plated buildings and glittering shopping malls is a city that visitors rarely hear about, Sonapur. The name in Hindi means Golden City, but there is no gold here. It was built with the sweat and tears of over 150,000 migrant workers from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Philippines who came seeking the dream of a better life, but instead built glory for others. In stark contrast to the dazzling light of the Burj Khalifa, Sonapur is just a cramped workers' camp with rows of closely packed buildings. 6 men had to share a small room where the temperature could exceed 50 degrees while the air conditioning was weak. They work up to 12 hours a day, earning about 800 dirhams, which is equivalent to $200 a month. Many people have to send most of their income back home, leaving just enough for a meager existence. A simple lunch could be rice, beans, and water, a meal repeated year after year. When they arrived in Dubai, they were promised clean housing, stable jobs, and health insurance. But the reality is far different. Their passports were confiscated, their salaries were delayed for months, and they were not allowed to leave the labor camp. Some people say they worked under the scorching sun, building luxurious hotels that they themselves would never be able to enter. Ironically, Sonapur, the Golden City, is also a place where the dreams of thousands of people are burned away. It doesn't appear on the map, but this is the true foundation of Dubai, an empire built on the backs of the invisible. Number 7. The hidden truths of a glamorous appearance. The Burj Khalifa is the pride of Dubai and a symbol of human ambition, soaring 2,017 feet high, piercing the clouds like a spear in the desert. But behind that splendor lies a story few know. The tower has over 200 floors, but only about 160 floors are actually used. The rest is just hollow steel reaching for the sky, built more for fame than necessity. Despite being promoted as the world's most luxurious shopping and residential center, less than 20% of the Burj Khalifa's area is utilized. Hundreds of luxury apartments remain vacant because maintenance and utility costs reach thousands of dollars per month. Ironically, this $0.5 billion building doesn't have a direct drainage system. Every day, dozens of trucks line up around the Burj Khalifa to collect over 15 tons of waste and transport it manually through the city. It's hard to believe this is happening right in the city of the future. In Dubai, you can live in a 50 million apartment and touch the clouds, but your waste still has to be transported by truck. Comment 2 if you think Dubai should complete its infrastructure system before building another new tower. Number 8. The illusion of luxury. Dubai was once hailed as the fastest-growing city in the world, but after 2 decades of relentless construction, thousands of luxury apartments now remain empty amidst a forest of glittering glass towers. Estimates suggest that over 30% of Dubai's skyscrapers are unoccupied, merely empty shells in the global real estate speculation game. For many wealthy investors, buying an apartment isn't for living or renting, but rather like collecting watches, a safe place to store assets, and sometimes a tool to conceal financial transactions that are difficult to trace. Some towers have never been lit since they opened. These multi-million-dollar projects are now just ghost buildings scattered across the city, particularly in areas like Business Bay and Dubai Marina. When you look down at Dubai from an airplane at night, you'll see hundreds of towers glowing like an artificial galaxy. But behind those glowing windows, there was only emptiness. Comment number 6 if you believe that excessive construction solely to display wealth is one of the greatest wastes of the modern world. Number 9. Palm Jumeirah, a sinking marvel. Palm Jumeirah is the world's most famous man-made palm-shaped island and has long been considered a symbol of Dubai's wealth and innovation. From above, it looks like a perfect masterpiece, with million-dollar villas nestled among the foliage, surrounded by the turquoise waters of the Persian Gulf. However, behind that beauty lies a worrying truth. The island is slowly sinking. Geologists confirm that Palm Jumeirah is sinking at an average rate of about 0.2 inches, or 5 millimeters per year. At the same time, the natural flow was altered, causing the surrounding seawater to erode the banks and cloud the once crystal-clear water. Over 70% of the coral reefs and seagrass beds near this area have been destroyed since the island was completed. The current maintenance costs far exceed the profits generated by tourism on Palm Jumeirah. Villa owners have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars each year just to keep the ground stable and prevent sand from being washed away. Once hailed as a symbol of prosperity, Palm Jumeirah is now a costly reminder of the consequences of humans challenging nature for the sake of prestige. Comment number 4. If you think there are wonders that nature should create on its own, rather than humans trying to force them to exist. Number 10 is exclusive to the wealthy. In many countries, youth is a period of struggling with student loans, rent, and work pressure. But in Dubai, a completely different generation is growing up, a generation sponsored to succeed. Emirati youth, native citizens of the UAE, have their tuition fees fully covered by the government, whether they study domestically or at prestigious universities like Harvard or Oxford. Additionally, they are also provided with annual living expenses and airfare to return home for summer vacation. Upon marriage, each couple receives a free villa, sometimes worth over $400,000, along with a cash wedding bonus. Their daily lives are also supported. Private drivers, chefs, and gardeners are all low-wage migrant workers from South Asia. With high subsidies, many young Emiratis don't even need to work to maintain a luxurious lifestyle, from luxury cars to vacations in the Maldives. But the downside of this prosperity is becoming increasingly clear. Many young people grew up in environments without financial pressure, have never had a real job, and are completely dependent on the state. Private businesses say public sector productivity is 40% lower than the global average, while incomes are nearly double. Some scholars call this phenomenon the desert glass generation, who grew up in affluence but are fragile in the face of challenges. When everything is given without effort, creativity, will, and the competitive spirit are unlikely to last long. Number 11. City lacks cultural history. Dubai is considered a place where anything is possible, but there's one thing that's almost non-existent here: the local people. Out of over 3.6 million residents, approximately 90% are foreigners, making Dubai one of the cities with the lowest proportion of native citizens in the world. This city functions as a microcosm of the globe. Taxi drivers come from Pakistan, chefs from the Philippines, engineers from India, and waiters from Kenya. Native Emiratis make up less than 10% of the population, with most working in government agencies for high salaries and short hours. The result is a magnificent metropolis with almost no native culture, a place that is changing so rapidly that even those who live here find it difficult to recognize. That's the strange paradox of Dubai, a global city but lacking soul. Many tourists liken it to a giant film set where everything is shiny, precise, and perfect but lacks human warmth. Above, there are skyscrapers and luxury shopping malls, while below, there is a void of local identity. Dubai may be a place for people to come and pursue their dreams, but only a few stay to truly belong here. Number 12. Asia's most mysterious ghost village. Amidst the vast desert landscape of Dubai lies a strange place called Al Madam, a village that seems to appear only during the day and disappear when night falls. This mysterious phenomenon has intrigued scientists and visitors alike, and Al Madam has been given the eerie nickname Dubai's Ghost Town. The village was built in the late 1970s as a modern settlement for Bedouin families. Now it's just crumbling houses, broken windows, and sand piled up to the roof. The residents left in silence, abandoning the homes that were being gradually swallowed by the desert. No one knows the exact reason. Some say it's quicksand and desert storms, while others believe something supernatural caused them to disappear overnight. Today, Al Madam has become a haunting destination for those who enjoy exploration and photography. Sand poured through the door, covering the bed and stairs, creating a surreal scene like something out of a post-apocalyptic film. Amidst the scorching desert sun, this village still stands, a reminder that nature always finds a way to reclaim what belongs to it. Number 13. The most wasteful city in the world. Dubai is hailed as a culinary paradise where you can enjoy Japanese sushi, Australian Wagyu beef, and Russian caviar all in the same 5-star breakfast. But behind the gold-plated tables and untouched dishes lies a difficult truth. Approximately 38% of the total food processed daily in the UAE is discarded, equivalent to nearly $3.5 billion annually. While many countries are striving to reduce waste, Dubai is literally burning money to maintain its image of luxury. Import restaurants bring in almost everything, from European strawberries to Arctic seafood, generating massive carbon emissions from transportation. In fact, a fresh salad in Dubai may have traveled further than a flight from New York to Los Angeles. The dark side is that most of those expensive dishes were never even eaten. If this rate continues, Dubai could not only boast the world's tallest buildings, but also the planet's largest mountains of food waste. Number 14. The pressure to show off wealth. In Dubai, glitz isn't just a lifestyle, it's the norm. From the car you drive to the cup of coffee you post on Instagram, everything has to shine. Among the wealthy youth, luxury is no longer a personal choice but a social obligation, a way to survive in a culture where image is more important than reality. Young Emiratis and wealthy expatriates buy supercars, Rolex watches, and Hermes bags not because they need them, but because they fear being seen as inferior in a city where neighbors might park a Bugatti in front of their homes. Shopping malls become stages, and social media is the battlefield for brands and status. In Dubai, high school students can go to school in a Bentley, and Sunday breakfast costs over $1,000 per person, mainly for a 1,000-like photo. A survey in the UAE revealed that nearly 45% of young people spend more than they earn, and half are afraid of being judged if they don't maintain a luxurious lifestyle. Sociologists call this the golden mirage effect, a phenomenon where young people equate their self-worth with material possessions. In a city where everything must sparkle, the pressure to display wealth has become an invisible burden, forcing an entire generation to live for the gaze of others. Number 15. The deepest wealth gap in Asia. Behind Dubai's dazzling skyline lies a stark reality where 1% of the population lives in extreme luxury, while the other 99% lives in the dust of oblivion. At one end of the city, gold-plated Rolls-Royces and Bugatti supercars are parked in long lines in front of luxury shopping malls. On the other side, tens of thousands of migrant workers are crammed into metal dormitories where temperatures reach 120 degrees bars or 49 degrees C. Each month, they only earn about $200 to $300. While the super-rich spend $50,000 on a dinner, the people who built the city send most of their meager earnings back home to feed their children. Dubai's per capita GDP is among the highest in the world, but most of the wealth is concentrated in the hands of a minority, and over 80% of residents do not own homes, land, or personal property. This contrast makes Dubai like a two-faced mirror, reflecting the light of towering skyscrapers on one side while concealing the darkness of forgotten labor camps on the other. From afar, Dubai looks like the perfect desert dream, but as you get closer, you realize it's a dream built on the sweat of millions of people. Away from the eyes of tourists, we just explored 15 dark sides of life in Dubai. I hope you've gained a new and insightful perspective on this fascinating country. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.